have men who have 10 kids with 8 different women. We have men who have been arrested 72 times. Okay, we have all kinds of stories, men who have done some pretty bad things. Our job is to help them to get their mind right. So the WINGS program is about helping men to make practical changes in the way they think. And women as well. We have many women in the WINGS program as well. We had an accountant who was in our program, and she says, you know, I'm an accountant. I have a degree in accounting. He said, really? He said, why are you here? She said, well, I embezzled $70,000. And so I had to serve 4 years. This was in New Jersey. And so over the last 24 years, we've touched 100,000 people in the WINGS program, including you here today. We've been to 100 schools, 8 prisons, on radio and television. And the goal is always the same, to help to, prevent people from going into prison. We have men serving life who graduated, men serving double life, and even quadruple life. We have women who are serving 10 to 20 years. And we've lost 8 people in the last 4 years to an overdose of heroin itself. In February, Sarah Banneker, who was here, if you remember, Sarah died in February of AIDS. I have her CD, an audio tape of her life story on the radio, which we may bring to you one day to hear it again, but she's gone. On Saturday, Bob Beck died. Bob ran a recovery home for 18 years. But he also passed at 58 years old due to whatever was done in his past kind of caught up with him. But he did a lot of good work, touched a lot of people, but he's now gone. So in our program, people die, and that's the reality of it. Our job is to help you not to do what some of these people did. Does that make sense? To make every decision count, to build your stability, your credibility, so that you can build a good life. The WINGS program is a life-building program. And with that, I want to invite Miss Betty Clark up to tell her story about her son Tim, her son Joey, and her son Matthew. So Betty, please, come on up.
Hi everyone, my name is Betty Ann Clark. I have 3 sons. I met
Good morning, teachers. Please
Mr.
pardon the
Montroni
interruption.
through the WINGS
Teachers,
program.
please take
but
your
my son
attendance through Teacher
wasn't.
Access Center. The
He
system
is
is now up and running.
incarcerated and he just
Again,
got
teachers, please
sentenced
take your 8th
for
grade
death.
attendance
He will be going
through
upstate
Teacher Access Center.
probably this
Thank
week.
you.
He was in with Mr. Montone in the WINGS program, and I saw a big change in him. I saw how he started to open up more, where he had built a wall around him, and that's the basis of my story. It started back in July 13th, 2007. My son Timothy Clark, 15 years old, was shot execution style on the way home from the store. He was with a friend of my oldest son. He did landscaping, so he used to take the kids out, well knowing, earn some extra money. It was late at night, but to me, felt safe. He's with a 26-year-old guy. The store was right around the corner. And on the way home, they got ambushed. One guy came from the back, one guy came from the front. And the reason they know this is because they found Timmy's bags at the corner, but their bodies were found in the middle of the street. They were made to kneel on their knees and interlock their hands behind their heads. My son was shot first, execution style. His head died. Damien was told, he's about 6'4". They think that he got up to run because he was shot through the jaw that severed his spine and wound up in his lungs. He lived for 2 days in the nursing home, but he eventually succumbed. son got shot. Damien wasn't a bad guy. We all have problems, but he wasn't a bad person. And my oldest son asked me if I could have Damien live with us because he was a black guy who was with a white girl and they had a baby together. They lived right around the corner from us. But the family treated him awfully. Called him an N-word, they smacked him around, smacked his head. He wasn't a fighter. He didn't fight. So he stayed at my house until he could get back on his feet. That's the reason why he was at my home when they went to the store late at night. 14 months, going back to that night, my oldest son was woken up by a neighborhood guy. And he was asked to go outside, and detectives asked him, do you know any parents? And he said, well, my mom. And he said, well, we need you to go to her up. And he said, what happened? And they said, well, we think your mother was shot. And my son said, no, I'm not taking my mom to him. He's 20 years old. He went down the street. This happened the street from where I live, block road, not even block road. And he saw his brother, his baby brother at 15 years old, and was dead in a puddle of blood on the pavement. He saved me from that. He saved that image and helped that image itself to spare me that image. When they came back to my house and woke me up, the detective was there, a man from the Tacoma Town Watch was there, and my son. The detective was asking me all different questions. What's your name? What's the address? How old are you? What's your date of birth? And all this time I'm thinking, what did Joey do? My son's standing there with his head down, and I'm like, what did he do? What did he do? And I finally said, what is going on here? Why are you asking me all these questions? What happened? They remained quiet, and my oldest son is who told me, Mommy, Timmy's dead. I didn't believe it, of course. I said, you know, it's impossible, you have a young kid. I started running around looking for my shoes. It took 3 men to hold me back when I did eventually find my shoes. And the only thing that stopped me from going down there is my son. He said to me, Mommy, please, please, don't and that is what stopped me from going down. So, in the long run, in 14 months, my oldest son had to go to jail. He had gotten into a fight with another man who pressed charges, and he went 3 months after Timmy was killed. He suffered in jail. He had no one to talk to. He had no one to cry to. His baby brother was killed. He blamed himself. He kept thinking that Timmy was mistaken for him because they looked alike. And I said, no, you don't look that much alike. It was close enough for them to know it wasn't you. Well, he wore my shirt. Well, he never wore that shirt. And he came up with excuses after excuses, thinking that Timmy was killed because of him. And it wasn't. It wasn't that. And he suffered all this time thinking it was his fault. Well, when we finally found out 14 months later that it was the brother of the girl that Damien had the baby with, it was her brother and her brother-in-law that killed him because they didn't like him. He was black. He had a baby with a white girl. That's no reason to kill somebody. No one. Nothing. Damien was not a bad person. He didn't deserve to die that way. My son was killed because he knew them. They called him a casualty of war, a loose end that they had to tie up. When we finally went to trial, my Joe was, when he came home, he was doing really, really good. He went into Pencotech to be an auto mechanic. And when he started the second program, it was the electrician's part. That was during the trial. He didn't go back to school because he wanted to be there at the trial. Little did I know that he went to a friend's house during the trial saying, I can't do this. I can't do this, Mom. I can't do this to his so-called friends. And the girl said, I have something that'll help you, make you feel better. And she shot him all with her. Only takes one time. One time. If you think that one time, oh, I can just do it one time, no. It's not true. You're hooked. And I didn't know it during the trial phase. I did not know that he was in heroin. I didn't find out until I tried to get him back to school. I wanted him to go back to school. You know, they said that he could come back, go in, study, get up to his point where he had to be and take the test and then go to the next phase after that, do the electrician phase. Well, he never made it. He never made it to that point. Instead, he robbed, he stole most of my jewelry, probably other people. He sold games, PlayStation games that were like $60. His father just got for a habit that was a bad habit. I saw him slowly dying. I just lost my 15-year-old son. May I see my 22-year-old son by then slowly dying in front of me. I did everything I could as a mother, you know, because I love my children. Just as I know your parents all love you, they all love you. I sent him to readings. I even called his PO up. I called his PO up on him. Yes, I did. I had the warrant police come out and get him. Because I didn't want him to die. I wanted him to live. I wanted him to be okay and happy. And that still didn't work. I mean, yeah, he was good for a couple months, and then he went back. Well, finally, after bouts of rehab, he was clean for 6 months. And we don't know why that night, June 8, 2013, that he went out that night. Maybe it's because Timmy's anniversary has come up in July. I don't know. But he went out with another bag. My son, who is now incarcerated, found him, slumped over in a chair, and he died in his brother's house. So my Matthew saw two of his brothers, his baby brother, and his oldest brother, who he tried to save. He tried to save him. You know, he had military training. He was in the National Army, Pennsylvania Army National Guard, so he had some military training that he knew, a few basic aid routines, and he tried. You know, he laid him on the ground, turned his head, put his legs up, he did everything he could to do. Jerry died. Jerry died in his office. And that's what brings me here to tell you my story, because I don't want anyone to feel that drugs is the right way to go. It's not. It's not. It really isn't. It's destroyed my life. It destroyed my whole life. I have been living with this since 2007, this pain and anguish. I lost 2 sons. They're gone. I have books of articles for Timmy, all the newspaper articles, pictures that he drew. You know? This is him. I would do vigils, balloon releases, on the date of his angel day, we call it. And I would hand out pictures with a nice poem. Because I had nothing else to do. What else could I do as a mom? My son's born. I can't celebrate birthdays. I don't have no grandbabies. I'm going to have grandbabies for my two children. I'll never have that. It's gone. And just another books. I started with my son Joe, for my son Joe. And he's got drawings in here, you know, that he drew. And this is a picture of him when he was little with his brother Matt. I don't know if you'll see that. And this is all I have. Books and pictures and a cemetery to go visit and decorate. So I want you all to know that drugs is not the way out. There are many people out there that will be there for you. If you don't think that you have help, you're wrong. There's help for everyone. You just need to ask for it. And never be afraid to ask for it. We are all human. We all need help. It doesn't matter. Everyone needs help. I am getting help. I still go to grief counseling. It doesn't matter. We need help. If you need help, get it. Get it. Don't wait. Don't let your mom or dad go through what I am going through. And that's basically what I wanted to tell everyone. You're not alone. You're all not alone. There's many people out here that care about you. Every one of you. If you need help, find it. Don't let friends think it's cool to do drugs, because you know what? They're not destroying their life, they're destroying yours. Will they be there when you're addicted in the slum? No. They'll be gone. And you'll be laying and dying alone. So you don't want that. You don't want your parents to do that. So that's my story. And I hope you take it all into consideration to get the help you need it. Don't be afraid, you're not alone. Never ever feel alone.
Okay, after Joey died in Matt's arms, what happened to Matt after that? How did he cope with that?
He started using drugs. He started using drugs because he built that wall up. And when he went, he got locked up, of course, for armed robbery. Because he got to a point that he had no money. Joined programs. That's how he met Joe Montone here. He's part of the Greens program. Joe helped Matt open up. Joe finally helped Matt chisel away at that wall, a little bit and a little bit, until he could finally start talking about what happened to him. Because if you hold all that in, it's going to kill you. It's going to kill you. So with Joe's help, he started chiseling down that wall. When he first started in the program, he didn't talk. He didn't talk. But after a while, some coaxing, Joe's great way of talking, he opened up and getting that off his chest and that helped him. That helped him a lot.
What kind of drugs was he doing that arrived him at the armed robberies?
He was doing Xanax and Percocets. Does anybody have any questions?
As a mom, what's it like to sit on one side of the glass inside the prison and talk with your son through a glass with a phone in your hand?
It's heartbreaking. I can't touch my son. I'll never see my other two. He's all I have left. He's my hope. But, I tell him that all the time, he's my hope. I always call him my rock, and when he was at court, he actually told the judge that I called him my rock, when in actuality, I was his rock. Sometimes I'd leave there and I would go in my car and just break down.
Does your son Matt talk about his experience in prison, what it's like?
At the programs, he finally would start talking in the groups that he was in. He was in the WIGS program, he was also in the VETS program because he was in the Army National Guard. He broke his foot, which ruined his career because he couldn't keep up with the rocket launches. But he did get an honorable discharge. Being able to go to the programs with WIGS, Joe helped bring that wall down a little bit. And eventually, brick by brick started to come down. He started opening up.
Just speak to that. In the classroom with 30 men inside maximum security jail, there's not a lot of humility there because you can't look weak inside. Okay. Everybody wants to be viewed as being strong. And the reality is we have to have humility as men. Humility to say, I love you, please forgive me, I'm sorry, I made a mistake. And with Matt, having suffered great tragedies in the loss of his two brothers, we were able to get into the heart of a man, into Matt's heart. In over 50 hours of time, Matt graduated, but he became a leader right there in the classroom and wants to come here. He has to serve 18 months for those 3 armed robberies. He's already served a couple of years. He'll go upstate, but when he comes out, we're going to bring him here with Betty. Because it's important. His life story is important, and our job is to help him to look forward to a good future. It doesn't matter where you've been, what matters is where you're going. And that's through and through the WIGS program. So Matt did very well in the classroom. He was very helpful, attentive, and did very well in his writing assignments. Got up to the board and talked to the men, as all the men have a chance to do that about their own stories inside. Most will, some won't. They can't reveal who they really are. So Matt did a great job, And Betty, can you speak about the graduation that you attended when Matt graduated?
When Matthew graduated, he was so happy that he accomplished something in his life. And just seeing him happy made me happy, because what I wanted out of my life was just to see my kids grow up and be happy and have a family and enjoy life, get good jobs, of course, be self-sufficient, be good leaders in their community, have families, babies, get married, fall in love, everything we all want to do. I'll never have that with my other 2 sons. They're gone. I have a cemetery. But seeing Matthew, and when he got up and spoke, I was so proud and so happy because he was happy. That's what made me happy, is because he was happy.
I just want to encourage you, to remember you have parents. Betty is a parent. Talk to your parents. Sometimes I have children too, and sometimes the last person they want to talk to is me because I'm a parent. But the reality is she's lost 2 sons. Okay? And in the WIGS program every year we lose people. Young people, old people. So I want you to, think about your relationship with your own parents, your teachers, the people who care most about you. I've lost 50 people in the Wings program in 24 years. 8 in the last 4 years. And a lot of young people. In February, the speaker who was here, Sarah Benecker, died. She was here. She died of AIDS. After 5 years of incarceration, 31 arrests, she was a prostitute. 14 times she overdosed, was raped 13 times. Tragic life. At 34, she died. The past caught up to her. And Sarah wanted to come back again and again. So we have her audio tape to go with now because she's gone. So life can be short. And for Betty, she knows it all too well now with 2 sons. And her 3rd son now is her hope that he does well. Does it make sense? We're here for one reason, to help you to do well. To make great choices on Saturday night, Friday night, this afternoon after school, who your friends are, what you're doing in your education, work, community service. Because the reality is every day people are going down, men and women. And so, I want to encourage you to ask any question that you may have for Betty while she's here. And please feel free to ask right now. Yes?
Your son that overdosed, and I'm sorry, I forget his name. Joseph. You said he overdosed from heroin.
Yes.
Did he start off with different drugs, or?
Well,
during
his teen years, he did dabble with like pot, maybe some Xanax and here and there, but he never did the hard stuff. He never went to the hardcore until the trial came. And a friend, actually, so-called friend, who said that she would help him.
Right.
I have something that I can help ease your pain. And she shot him up. And my Joe told me this.
Right.
He told me this.
I'm very sorry for your loss.
Is there anyone in the classroom who's lost a friend through drugs? Raise your hand. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So this is the epidemic we have. And we're either part of the solution or part of the problem. If you're part of the solution, raise your hand. Okay. If you would like to be part of the solution, raise your hand. Okay. And so this is a personal choice, and we have to take a look at what we're doing. You have a chance to make a great decision every day. And today, it begins right now, today. We have to make these decisions before other things happen, And what is your name, my friend? How old are you? 17. What is your plan for after school today?
Today?
Yes. Going home? And what will you do at home? Okay. You're going to talk to them about. Good. Please share with them a little bit about Betty's story. And, it works both ways. When I was 21, my stepfather died. That was my last conversation with him. That was 35 years ago. Okay? And so, children die, but sometimes parents die as well. It works both ways. These are key moments. I can't have another dinner with my dad. I'm a pilot 38 years. I never flew with him. Never took him for a flight. An amazing thing. And I've seen people who are father and son flight crews in U.S. Airways and American Airlines. So time is short. Make the most of your time. Very important. And again, Betty's story, I want you to share her story with other people. It's a personal story. The greatest gift you can give is your life story. And here we have multiple lives. She's sharing her life plus the lives of her 3 children. One of which is happened to come in my program only because she called and reached out to me and said, Mr. Montone, I have a son, he's at CFCF. He really needs a good program. I said, well, what is your name? And she told me her story on the telephone, that she lost 2 sons. And the third one's nearby my program, in the facility. So immediately, I took action. Called the social worker supervisors. Placed this man in the WINGS program today. Made it happen. Take action. Make good things happen. Before, the opportunity doesn't allow itself to be present any longer. Does that make sense? Take good action. Give me one good action you've taken this week for you. My friend right here. What is your name?
Logan.
Logan, what have you done this week for you? One good action.
Like, in general, probably like, I don't know.
Just work out.
Yeah. Studied for school and stuff.
Okay, study for school and stuff.
Yeah.
Made a decision to come here. And that's a great thing, to be engaged in school. Do you know, at the Community College of Philadelphia, 83% of the students don't graduate over there? They have a 70% graduation rate. I mean, 83 out of 100 students, out of 30,000 students, don't want to graduate. They drop out of college. And the dropout rate in high school is very great as well, up in New York and other places. So you made, Logan, a great decision to just come in. Our first speaker here was Jeff Collins 2 years ago. There was a young lady in the class deciding, debating to drop out or not. A couple of days later, Robin called me and said, we have some good news. This young lady has made a decision to stay in school and to graduate as a result of listening to Jeff's talk. What will you do as a result of Betty's talk today? One thing that you might do today. My friend right here. What is your name? Victoria. One thing that you might do today or this week as a result of listening to Betty's talk.
Probably not take a lot of things that I got going on in my life. Take that out on myself. Because I already lost my mouse pad. Just can't beat myself up.
Okay. So you know the loss of a mom, and you have your stepmom with you. You know the value of a mother, and you lost her. Some people can relate to that. I can't because I didn't lose my mother at 5, but you can. And so that's a beautiful thing as a result of your talk. One thing, my friend right here, what is your name? Diego, what will you do this week as a result of Betty's talk? What is the impact of her talk on your mind this morning? And I'm putting you on the spot, but I know you can handle it. Make better decisions. Good. Very good. My friend right here, what is your name? Yes. And good morning. What will you do differently this week as a result of Betty's talk?
Nothing really.
Okay. Has it had any impact on you at all?
Yeah.
All right, so no change there. Okay, all right. Anybody else? Any other questions for Betty while we're here?
Did you find any peace after the trial, when the verdict was handed down? And what was the verdict?
Well, they were found guilty of double homicide plus 30 years. They were, it was a death penalty phase trial. There was one juror, just one juror who was against it, and it has to be unanimous in Pennsylvania. So it's an automatic life sentence without parole. So they have double life, and I felt that, you know, Timmy got justice, but he's still not coming home.
At sentencing, did either of those two guys speak directly to you?
No, they still deny it.
Did you personally know that?
Yes. Yes, they were
And they
neighbors.
denied it?
Yes.
Thank you so much. I think some people might have questions they want to ask you alone, like in the hallway.
Oh, okay.
So what we'll do is, we have an evaluation form, but some people came late. Like, if you came late, raise your hand, we won't give you a sheet. Just the ones who were here the whole time. Pass out the sheets, start filling them out, and then that's your ticket out the door. But anyone, yes, you can get a pass from Mrs. Conroy. All right?
Thank you.
So, what we're gonna do, if anyone has a question that they wanna ask privately, we're gonna go out in the hall, all right?
Quarter
And ask.
So, and then we go.
See if I can take me back to eat.
Yeah, I know, it's chilling in my.
Hold on, before you guys watch out the door, I'm asking you to multitask, because everyone has a piece of paper. I'm gonna make one announcement, and then you can go out in the hall and you can ask questions out there to either,